Hi, I'm Eva. I am a Gen X and I have been living in Spain for the last 21 years. I live here in nature and I am surrounded by my rescue animals from my non-profit, the Whispering Rescue Ranch. Can I ask you a favor? If you like what you see, can I please ask you to give me a like, subscribe, and share these videos with your friends? Now, after making the video Living Alone in Spain, I realized that I needed to make another video. And that is, why did I choose the Costa Blanca? Why did I choose to live close to Alicante? Because in the end, I have been living here in the same place for over 21 years. Something I've never done in the past. So there must be a good reason to be living here and to not move away. And that's what this video is about. So let me first give you a little background. I already explained some of it in this video about moving abroad alone. What I did was on my motorcycle with some friends, because we were taking a motorcycle trip every year. With some friends, we came from Belgium through France to the northeast of Spain, and we were driving down by the coast side. And for me, it was to discover in which region would I like to live. And either you were driving down those national roads and you would just see nothing. Well, that's not a place where I want to live. If there is nothing to do, nothing to see, and there is nobody. And otherwise, you would see residential areas that are really fenced off. And let's say just a lot of people. Then you also have the industry zones. And I really do not like to be living close to anything that can give me any toxicity in the body. And further on, of course, you had the big cities like Barcelona, like Valencia, and so on. For me, it was also important to have some nature surrounding me and to have some movement in the country. I am somebody who likes variety. And so if everything is flat, I'm not interested. And if there are just mountains, I'm not interested either. So we kept driving down, and we also kept driving down towards Alicante because one of the members of our group had an apartment close to Alicante. And that's also where we were going to stay for a few days. Now, what happened? Just before Alicante, you have the beach on one side, and within 10 minutes, you are in the mountains. That was everything what I wanted and what I needed. Little to no industry, little to no plastic, because I can tell you, there are villages here that are almost covered in plastic. Why? Because they are protecting the trees. They are protecting the tomatoes. They are protecting their crops, all with plastic, so that the birds would not be eating their crops. And I can't imagine that anybody would like to live there, even though that thousands of people are living there. But for me, the first reason I wanted to live here was the proximity of the sea, village, and mountains. That was my number one. And that's also the introduction to why I chose to come and live where I am living right now. The other reason is because we have a microclimate here. What does that mean? Well, between more or less Oliva until Santa Pola, and you have Alicante and surroundings in between those 2 points, we have a microclimate. A microclimate is a local atmospheric zone where the climate differs from the surrounding area. In other words, in summer, it's not so hot here as in the south of Spain. And in winter, it's not so cold as it can be in the south of Spain or the north of Spain. Let's just think of the Sierra Nevada, not far from Granada. They have lots of snow every single year, even though it's more in the south of Spain. And how do you think I feel when even in December, I can go outside in a t-shirt and shorts if I want to, from about 10 in the morning till 5 p.m. Before that and after that, it's cooler. So I will put on some jeans and I will put on a sweatshirt or something. But isn't it amazing that even at Christmas time, I can eat my lunch outside? I can still go swim in the sea, even though I'm not really doing that, to be honest. The other reason why I am living where I am living, I am about 12 minutes by car to the beach, to the sea. I have a view from my place to the sea. I can see the buildings, the big buildings of San Juan Playa. But another important reason why I live where I live is because I live here in nature. I have here about 50 acres of land. My rescue horses can run, can have fun, can even eat greens in winter. Because every year, once it has rained, I will sow some oats for them so that they have some greens to eat during the wintertime. There is no place at the seafront that would ever give me that chance, that opportunity to have my horses running around freely and have fun and not be locked in stables. And if I go the other way, well, I can go here straight into the mountains surrounding me. But if I go 10 minutes that way, we have even a mountain of, I think it's 1,100 meters high. And I've seen snow on there, I think twice or 3 times for maybe a day or two in winter in the last 21 years. But with that, I mean is I have room here. People who live close to the seafront, in summer, it's so hot, it's incredible. And really, there is a lot of noise because people will be partying till 1 or 2 in the morning. I just go to the seafront whenever I want to, and I come home when I want to have peace. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've only been twice this year to the beach. It doesn't happen often, and I certainly will not do it when I know we have the holidays, because then we have all the people from Madrid coming this way because they know this is the place to be. And I just don't need all those people. You know, I'm an introvert and I like to be alone. So that's the other reason. And of course, it's also logical. I have a nonprofit, the Whispering Rescue Ranch. I help and save abused horses and dogs. To give them the chance to live a decent life, you need to have space. And you need to have a pretty good climate. Certainly, if you want them to live the best life they can, outside, in freedom. And apart from that, as for me, as I said before, I am an introvert. I need nature. I need to be surrounded by green, by living animals. And I need to be able to ground myself, because the grounding takes negative energy out of my body and fills it again with positive energy. And another thing that I do sometimes, and I'm not crazy, is just hug a tree. That will also give you lots of positive energy. A further reason why I live where I live is because the prices here, I'm talking about here, this zone, are doable. For what I paid for my ranch, I do not believe there would be any place that offers me the same where I can have what I have right here. And I'm also going to be honest with you. When I bought it here, it was cheap because the house was a ruin. I mean, I had snakes coming up through the floors. So yes, that old building is no longer here. And I built the most part of this house. Another reason, and if you check one of the search engines, they will tell you, another reason why I chose the Costa Blanca, why I chose where I live right now, is because of the weather. It's because of the weather, and it's because of the sunlight. If you go and look it up, you will see that Alicante and surroundings are getting over 300 days of sunlight. Why is that important? Well, the north of Spain would be, for me, a lot like living in Belgium. What was that like, living in Belgium? Well, in winter, sometimes we wouldn't see the sun for a month or two. Why? Because the clouds would be below the sun. So we would be looking at gray skies with clouds. And the same happens also in the north of Spain. The same happens also for the rain. In Belgium, we have rain and more rain. And the north of Spain here also has a lot of rain. Now, let's be honest, sometimes here in the Costa Blanca, we would like to have a little bit more rain, because I don't know if you can see it right now. It's hot here. I am sweating. I'm honest, it's August. It's normal that I'm sweating because it's hot right here, right now. I live off grid. I do not have airco in the house, but I'm still here making this video for you. But what I wanted to say is, we have over 300 days of sunlight. Even in winter, I can see some blue skies. And apart from that, what's even more important for me is daylight. What do I mean with that? Well, it's never dark after 8 a.m. and it never becomes dark before 6 p.m. In other words, where I live here right now, on the shortest day of the year, I still have 2 more hours of sunlight than I would have had in Belgium, and more than 1 hour of sunlight when I go to totally the north of Spain, or let's say the south of France. So my days here are longer. And for somebody who is very sensitive to light, that is really important. I remember in Belgium, in winter, I would have the winter blues because I would have a lack of sunlight. And then they would sell you these lights. It was from Philips back, I'm talking about 25 years ago. Philips, you would put those lights next to you in the morning, if you were when taking breakfast, would put the light on so that your retinas, so that your eyes would get enough light in them. I can tell you, in the last 21 years that I have been living here, I have never, ever had the winter blues or a winter depression like they call it. That's reason enough for me to never go back in winter to Belgium. And it also makes me understand why people in the north of Europe, thinking of Norway and Sweden and so on, are having such a difficult time in winter because of a lack of sunlight. In conclusion, the combination of a favorable microclimate, the proximity of both the mountains and the sea, the ample space for my horses and dogs and the cats, and a peaceful, natural environment makes this place, close to Alicante, the Costa Blanca in Spain, the perfect place for me. This is the place that I call my paradise. This is the place where I can thrive, surrounded by nature and by animals, away from the noise and stress. And now I want to hear from you. Where do you live? And what do you like from the place where you live? Do you live in an apartment in a busy city? Or do you live like me, surrounded by nature? I want to read your comments. So please share them with me here below. And in a few days, you will see my next video. Until then, please take care of yourself. We only have one life here, and we need to enjoy it to the fullest. Bye.